What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The mainstream news is absolutely jumping all over this story that I've got coming up for you guys today. There's an absolute mutiny over at Doge. Like 20-something staffers just quit. Just bloom. We're not going to provide our services, our expertise to dismantling the federal government. Yeah, that's what they said. They're blowing this story up. Like, they're just absurd. Let's get into this right quick, y'all. Federal tech staffers resign rather than help Musk and Doge. Look, you love how they threw that picture in there. So nobody elected Musk. Yeah, they did, as a matter of fact. Everybody that voted for Trump knew. Like, I say this on every video because they keep saying, oh, he's an unelected bureaucrat. Well, that's not true. Once again, you know, and I get new people coming into these videos all the time, so I'm going to repeat myself from time to time, if you will. But, you know, like, you can't just say that, right? You can say that, but it's a lie. Because everybody knows, everybody that voted for Trump knew that that was a campaign promise. He's going to come in and drain the swamp. That was his campaign promise back in 2016, for crying out loud. He just didn't realize the breadth of the corruption of the federal government. Plus, he didn't know who he could trust. He put a lot of bad people in his administration in cabinet positions and whatnot. He didn't know how to go about doing it. That's why I always say, y'all, I always say that it's kind of a good thing that Joe Biden won in 2020, because we would not be getting President Musk coming through and dictating whatever the hell he wants to do, right? Because, I mean, that's what the mainstream news is telling us he's doing. So, yeah, I'm just going to sit back, shut up, and believe that. Oh, it's President Musk over here, y'all. But, you know, outside of sarcasm, unless you couldn't tell that was sarcastic, you know, that's what we voted for. That's what Americans voted for. Draining the swamp, putting Trump back in charge, getting this country back on track, reverting us back to a little bit older time before President Biden, getting us back to where the government's honest. We know that they're at least working on behalf of the American people. It's not some weaponized deep state that continually goes after its own citizens, spends their money on nonsense programs, wastes all of our time, and does nothing to better our lives. So, we're trying to get back to that. Now, will Trump accomplish all of these things? No, I'm sorry. Once again, I've said this before the election. Trump is not a savior. He's not a save-all. He's not going to come in, but he's trying. Now, I ain't going to lie. He is trying. He's doing a pretty good job at taking a chainsaw to the deep state and trying to gut out the rot and the corruption from the federal government. But, once again, you know, the federal government is big, it's bloated, and one man, even with Elon Musk behind him, they can't do everything, y'all. We need to focus on Congress. Congress has a lot of power, and they choose not to use that power. So we need to force Congress to use that power by voting in good, upstanding congressmen who actually want to see change, who don't care about lobbyists, lobby interests. They only care about your interests. That's how all congressmen should be. Now, once again, there are several congressmen that I believe, from what I can see, and, you know, it's bipartisan, there's mostly Republicans, but there's some Democrats that seem genuine as well. So I'm not trying to say it's all partisan over here, because, no, there are definitely Democrats. Like, AOC used to be one of those. You know, when she first came into Congress, she was just raring to go, like full of piss and vinegar, if you will, right? Just coming in. But she has bent the knee, you know, in a manner of speaking, to the establishment, because the establishment controls the Democratic Party. Well, that's no longer the case in the Republican Party, right? We've got wars going back and forth, and, you know, we've pretty much pushed out the establishment element from the Republican Party. They're getting out of there, or they are capitulating and falling in line. Like, that's the ones we need to watch out for. People like Dan Crenshaw, as a matter of fact. But let's get into this story before I rant on for years on end. More than 20 civil service employees resigned Tuesday from billionaire Trump advisor Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, saying they were refusing to use their technical expertise to dismantle critical public services. We swore to serve the American people and uphold our oath to the Constitution across presidential administrations, the 21 staffers wrote in a joint resignation letter, a copy of which was obtained by the Associated Press. However, it has become clear that we can no longer honor those commitments. Oh, you can't. Is that so? I wonder why that is. Why can you not honor your commitments, right? Working under Musk for Doge doesn't mean you can't honor your commitments, right? That's not what that means at all. But what they're trying to tell you with that is, oh, well, they're like moving and working around outside the Constitution. What they're doing is illegal. They're trying to tell you what Elon Musk. This is always the narrative from the corporate press, it seems like. It's Republicans evil. Democrats, we're the good guys over here. Republicans, they're bad. Anything they do is bad. Nothing they do is good. And, Democrats, well, they can be bad sometimes, but they're the good guys. Make sure and you side on the right side of history, because you don't want to be on the wrong side of history, do you? That's the message constantly from the corporate press. And, it's getting to the point now where we don't believe you anymore. We see the lies. We see the manipulations. The employees also warned that many of those enlisted by Musk to help him slash the size of the federal government under President Donald Trump's administration were political ideologues who do not have the necessary skills or experience for the task ahead of them. Oh yeah, I guess they would say that, wouldn't they? They just quit. The mass resignation of engineers, data scientists, designers, and product managers is a temporary setback for Musk and the Republican president's tech-driven purge of the federal workforce. It comes amid a flurry of court challenges that have sought to stall, stop, or unwind those efforts to fire or coerce thousands of government workers out of jobs. Now, what this sounds like, right? Just blanketly, just from all of that we've gotten so far, what it sounds like is, Doge came in and got a bunch of outside people to come in and work for him. And those people, they took an oath to the Constitution and they can't do it no more. It sounds like, there's chaos within Doge. Well, that's not the case. We'll find that out here in a minute. Check this out. Let's keep going. In a statement, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was dismissive of the mass resignation. Anyone who thinks protests, lawsuits, and lawfares will deter President Trump must have been sleeping under a rock for the past several years, Leavitt said. President Trump will not be deterred from delivering on the promises he made to make our federal government more efficient and more accountable to the hard-working American taxpayer. Musk posted on his social media site X that the story was fake news and suggested that the staffers were dim political holdovers who have been fired had they not resigned, who would have been fired, had they not resigned. So there we go. There's the story. They are holdovers. They are from what was the Digital Services Agency or something like that. I forget the name. They're going to name it here in a minute. But so that's what it was. As a matter of fact, that agency was put together under Barack Obama. So yeah, these people were Democrats. So once again, there you go. There blows the narrative right out of the water, because these people, they're calling Musk, oh, they're just political ideologues. But hang on. You just told us that these people that quit were political ideologues, right? So once again, to back out and be fair, yeah, sure, there's political ideologues on both sides. So what? Do you think a political ideologue can't come in and be non-political? Like, people have that ability to turn off their politics to do a certain job. They have that ability. Not everybody can do it, but when we're talking about the federal workforce, we're talking about going in and cleaning up the federal government, making the government more efficient, cutting the waste, trimming the fat, if you will. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. You don't need a apolitical person to come in to do that job. You can have political ideologues on both sides. Now, once again, it's going to be hard to get a Democrat or left-leaning person to come in and do that unless they're like a left-leaning libertarian or something like that. But, for the most part, Democrats, they're big government types. So, of course, all this that Trump is doing is bad. Of course. They're not really fair with their reporting. They're just not. Like, all the time we find manipulations. They kind of, twist the truth a little bit over here and leave out some information over there, all to push a narrative that it's always the same narrative, y'all. Trump, Republicans, bad. Democrats, yeah, if they do anything bad, don't look over here. Put it that way. But the Democrats are good, but Trump is bad. Remember that. Orange man, bad. The staffers who resigned had worked for the United States Digital Service, but said their duties were being integrated into Doge, which was just a massively good idea, right? Brilliant move by Elon Musk or Donald Trump, whoever came up with that idea, to take a, kind of a weird, odd, in-between agency that, what do they do exactly? And turn it into Doge instead of just creating a new department. Brilliant idea, in my opinion. Their former office, the USDS, was established under President Barack Obama after the botched rollout of healthcare.gov, the web portal that millions of Americans use to sign up for insurance plans through the Democrats' signature healthcare law. All previously held senior roles at such tech companies as Google and Amazon, and wrote in their resignation letter that they joined the government out of sense of duty to public service. Is that so? Yes, they wanted to come in and serve the American people. Right. And what did they exactly do? Trump's empowerment of Musk upended that. The day after Trump's inauguration, the staffers wrote, they were called into a series of interviews that foreshadowed the secretive and disruptive work of Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge. Now, once again, this is also another narrative put out by the corporate press that we don't know what they're doing. There's no evidence of anything that they've done, as a matter of fact. But that's not really true, is it? Because I've played a clip that I screen recorded, me going over Doge's website and just scrolling through everything, all the stuff they're finding, and blah, 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 blah. Elon Musk, as a matter of fact, is posting updates constantly on his profile on X. So, yeah, none of it's really in secret. Plus, outside of, you might say, oh, well, that's just partisan stuff, right? Sure. You could say that. You could make that argument if you wanted to, but outside of that, the corporate press has been all over every single thing that they've done. So you can't make the argument that they're being secretive or we don't know what they're doing. Sorry, can't make that argument. According to the staffers, people wearing White House visitor badges, some of whom would not give their names, grilled the nonpartisan employees about their qualifications and politics. Some made statements that indicated they had a limited technical understanding. Many were young and seemed guided by ideology and fandom of Musk, not improving government technology. Sorry about that, y'all. Several of these interviewers refused to identify themselves, asked questions about political loyalty, attempted to pit colleagues against each other, and demonstrated limited technical ability. How would they limit technical ability? By asking questions. Like, did the writers of this think about that for a second? Like, did the writers of this news article, or are they just republishing what they wrote? Like the writers of this, as a matter of fact, the letter, because that's apparently coming from the letter, did they not think that people would read that and be like, hang on, 2 + 2 is 4. How did you get, right? Like, they're telling us about being grilled by these people and then said they showed no technical ability. Okay. Sure thing. This process created significant security risks. Oh, yeah, you might as well just go ahead and throw that accusation out there. But you know what? They say when it comes to Democrats, every accusation is a confession. So always keep that in mind when reading left-wing news. Earlier this month, about 40 staffers in the office were laid off. The firings dealt a devastating blow to the government's ability to administer and safeguard its own technological footprint. They wrote, "Is that so?" Well, you know what? I'm so sorry about that, y'all. I apologize on behalf of Donald Trump and Elon Musk to whatever they did to you, because, sure. These highly skilled civil servants were working to modernize Social Security, veterans services, tax filing, healthcare, disaster relief, student aid, and other critical services. Now, if you go back through that list of things right there, there's only 2 critical services. 2 of those. Veterans services, to be honest with you, kind of rides the line. I'm lumping it in there just to be fair. But disaster relief is the only actually critical service. Like Social Security, I'm sorry, that's not critical. That's an entitlement program, for crying out loud. Right? And hang on, right? Firing of these people that work for the digital service office, how is that going to affect people at the Social Security Administration? Or, once again, you know, they just said, what, tax filing? How is the people at the digital service going to affect IRS agents? Sure, they got technical, they come in and fix things, right? But, once again, you could always just get an outside group to come in and do that. So, sure, fine, go ahead, whatever. But, once again, student aid, healthcare, those aren't not critical services. I'm sorry. Those are both things that can be done outside of the government, right? Social Security, let's just lump that in there. Okay, so we got Social Security, veteran services, and disaster relief. 3 of 6. Was it 6? Yeah, it's tax filing, healthcare, student aid, and other critical services, whatever those are. The resignation letter states, their removal endangers millions of Americans who rely on these services every day. How does it endanger anybody? Once again, no, it doesn't. But, hey, that's what they put in their letter, I guess. The sudden loss of their technology expertise makes critical systems and America's data less safe. Is that so? Oh, cry me a freaking river, if you will. Roughly 1/3 of the 65 staffers who remained at USDS quit on Tuesday. Goodbye. We will not use our skills as technologists to compromise core government systems, jeopardize Americans' sensitive data, or dismantle critical public services, they wrote. We will not lend our expertise to carry out or legitimize Doge's actions. You don't have to. And we'll still get it done, folks. The slash and burn effort Musk is leading diverges from what was initially outlined by Trump during the 2024 presidential campaign. Oh, is that so? Because I don't remember that. Doge, a nod to Musk's favorite cryptocurrency meme coin, was initially presented as a blue ribbon commission that would exist outside of government. Is that so? After the election, however, Musk hinted that there was more to come, posting to his social media site X. Threat to democracy. Nope. Threat to bureaucracy. That's right. He leaned aggressively into that role. Last week, he stood on stage at the Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, gathering outside Washington, where he boasted of his exploits and hoisted a blinged out Chinese-made chainsaw above his head that was gifted by Argentinian President Javier Milei. Like, how do we know that was Chinese-made, by the way? I'm just saying. Could have been Argentinian-made. You don't know it was Chinese-made. Like, plus it was just a prop for a stunt. Like, you see the tiny manipulations from the corporate press here. It's lovely, y'all. Gotta point him out. This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy, Musk bellowed from the stage. Still, Musk has tried to keep technical talent in place, with the bulk of the layoffs in the digital service office focused on people in roles like designers, product managers, human resources, and contracting staff, according to interviews with current and former staff. Man, you gotta love this. I just love what they're doing, by the way. I'm loving all of it, because shut it down, get it out of there. Get it out of there. By the way, folks, if y'all are still around, I got an update to a previous video on my next video, so y'all make sure and stay tuned for that, because that's coming up for me, at least. I'm going to record that here in about 2 minutes. Kind of gives you an idea of how much longer this video is going to be, by the way. But yeah, I got a pretty good video on the next one, y'all, so y'all make sure and stay tuned for that. Y'all smash that like button for me. I really need y'all's help on this one. I'm trying to grow, and YouTube doesn't want me to grow for some reason. But hey, it is what it is. I just bumped my phone. That's what that noise was, in case you were wondering. But it is what it is, so if y'all could do me that favor, smash that like button. I sure would really, really appreciate that, because I enjoy doing this. And, you know, I wish I could do this for a living, so I could get you guys more information, better news, better, you know, but just better research, better everything. If I could do this all day long, that would be lovely. You know, if I could, I would have a live show. Of course, if I did a live show, it would get kind of interesting, because all my screw-ups. And sometimes when I'm talking, I have to cough, and I have to edit that stuff out sometimes. But, you know, it is what it is. But I need y'all's help, so y'all subscribe if you're new around here. I would appreciate that. You know, we cover corporate press, media, just in general, media manipulations, news manipulations of the sort. Try to give you the facts, try to give you the truth, you know, and I give you my opinion. I'm not going to lie to you and try to say I'm unbiased. I've got an opinion, folks, and I've got to give out my opinion. I lean conservative, so that's what I am. I ain't apologizing for none of that. I am what I am. I'm going to say what I think, and hey, it is what it is. But I will give you the facts, because I get it from the left-wing news, right? This is why I don't read right-wing news at all. I do not, like, unless it's a story I really want to cover, and there's no left-wing sources covering it, which it's very rare. And I always, you know, add that caveat in there that, hey, look, this is a right-wing source, so if it's a little bit sounds a little bit skewed to the right, it's because it is. I'll always tell you guys that. I will always at least be honest. You know, I'm a biased person. I'm a broken guy, just trying to have fun out here and give you guys the information, point out media manipulations, because a lot of people get fooled into believing some of the media manipulations, and that's just what I want to do with this, right? I love presenting the news. I didn't even know I liked doing this until I decided to do it, right? I'm the type of guy, I ain't gonna lie, I'm the type of guy that if there's no conversation going on, I'm not talking, right? I'm not a conversation starter. Like any of my coworkers that watch my videos, they're like, you're just a completely different person, right? But this is actually who I am, because I have conversations going on in my head all the time, but I'm not like, I'm introverted a little bit, I guess you could say. I don't just start conversations with people outright. So, you know, all of my life I've been that way. So I guess maybe I'm making up for that by getting in front of a camera and reading the news and giving you guys the information. You know, it's just something, like I said, I just wanted to try it, figured screw it, and I found I enjoyed doing it. So there it is, y'all. There's my life story in a nutshell, if you will. But I need y'all's help. Share the video anywhere and everywhere you can. That's all I got on this one, y'all. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all let me know what y'all think. And I'm doing this all bass-ackwards, but it really doesn't matter, does it? Because, you know, I don't have a boss. I'm not getting paid for this, so I can do whatever the hell I want to, I guess. But y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got on this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.